Hi, guys. I wanted to greet you and the over 100 families that are actually live streaming exactly what you guys are seeing tonight. They are seen online. So hi, everyone at home, and hi, everyone here. How you guys doing tonight? Let's try that again. How you guys doing tonight? Thank you very much. I want to start by introducing myself. My name is Jean-Paul Howlett. I am the head of admissions for the state of California for people-to-people student ambassadors. What I really want to do, though, is tell you why I'm here. It's because I truly believe in traveling abroad. When I was a senior in high school, I had the opportunity to travel for the first time. Now, I grew up in a little country town outside San Diego called Ramona. So for most of the people on my trip, it wasn't just their first time out of the country. It was our first time out of the state. You should have seen our faces as we boarded that seemingly gigantic plane bound for the UK. Now, I had the opportunity to visit England and Scotland for the first time. What an amazing experience that was. Not only did I open myself up to an entirely different culture, but I was able to see some amazing sights. Windsor Castle, Big Ben, Buckingham Palace. But my favorite moment wasn't something that I saw. It was something that I tried. It was the first time that I had haggis. Now, if you don't know what haggis is, you probably don't want to. But I'm going to tell you anyway. Haggis is basically most of the organs of a sheep ground up, mixed with some oatmeal. Then it is delicately put back into the stomach of that same sheep to be boiled and served to you. But you know what? It's really good. Like, really good. And that was my favorite part about traveling abroad. It opened my eyes to something that I didn't even know existed. And I found that I liked it. That, students and parents, is why we are here. We are going to take 40 students from around Orange County and broaden their perspectives. Give them unique learning opportunities and help them experience life beyond the parameters of their own community. In other words, we're going to break you out of your comfort zone a little bit. I have a short video to show you. It's kind of the Hollywood preview version of People to People, and it takes you around the world in about a minute and a half. Let's take a look, and then we'll chat some more.
Far away from home and for this long, and it really teaches you responsibility.
I've made a lot of new friends.
I'm having the time of my life. I'm learning a lot. It's an incredible experience.
I think it's probably the best experience I've had in my life.
I love that the students get the opportunity to visit other countries, see other cultures, and experience a life that's different than their own.
Gets my heart pumping every time. If that's what it's like, sitting in a theater in Aliso Viejo or sitting at home at your computer, imagine what it's going to be like when you're actually there. Imagine getting to meet with a real member of British Parliament, sitting down and having a conversation where he asks your opinion on the relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom. Imagine climbing the 900 feet to the top of the Eiffel Tower, having a bird's eye view of the entire city of Paris. Or imagine sitting across the table from your homestay family and getting to truly experience what it is like to live as a member of another culture. Students, you won't have to imagine these things. They are just a fraction of what you will take in on the European Heritage Program coming up next summer. Now, we have a lot to cover in the next 45 to 50 minutes, so if you have any questions, please write them down, and I will be staying after the meeting to answer any questions that you still have. For those at home, you can always type into our live chat box and talk to us right away. All right. In our next video, you're going to hear from our founder, President Eisenhower, on how he believed that it was through people-to-people interactions that we would have the truest path to peace. You'll also hear from Colin Powell and Tom Brokaw on just how important it is to travel as a student. And I want you to look for the admissions advisor from Johns Hopkins University, who will tell you how the people-to-people program may even help get you into college. Let's take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this meeting is the most worthwhile purpose there is in the world today: to help build the road to peace.
It all started with a president. Dwight D. Eisenhower was chosen as Supreme Allied Commander during World War II and served as President of the United States during the Cold War. The vision of a more peaceful world became the defining theme of his presidency.
But I am talking about the exchange of professors and students and executives, the providing of technical assistance and the ordinary traveler abroad. In this way, I believe, is the truest path to peace.
Eisenhower believed that people-to-people interactions were the solution to world peace and the success of all world citizens. The people-to-people movement was born out of this great vision and lives on today through people-to-people ambassador programs. Since the 1960s, more than 500,000 ambassadors have traveled on the educational adventure of a lifetime.
Students have to step outside their comfort zone. The team building activities they do, it equips the students with personal empowerment that they will take with them in whatever situation, work situation, school situation. It makes them in control of their life.
They're unique individuals who share a passion for getting out into the world and making it a better place. As an ambassador, you'll experience the world with eyes wide open, going to places the average student trip can't. You'll experience iconic destinations, explore new cultures and local customs, and gain an academic edge, all while having the time of your life.
Welcome people to Bristol, England.
We'd like to welcome our American friends here.
People to people, welcome to Greece.
Welcome to Paris. Hope you'll enjoy your stay.
Welcome to Japan, people to people.
Ambassadors have endless opportunities to see the world. Students gain confidence and maturity through months of pre-travel preparation and by taking part in unique activities on the program, like rappelling down a castle wall in Wales, living like a member of another culture in Fiji, and taking part in a robotics challenge at a top American university. You are heading into a world where your friends and coworkers will be from all around the globe. Building an awareness of the world is essential for success in our fast-moving global society.
So you have an obligation to be good citizens, an obligation to learn all you can, an obligation to get ready for the world that we're going to bequeath to you in the not-too-distant future.
I salute you as well for exercising your convictions not just at the keyboard, but in programs like People to People.
Today, success in getting into college and advancing in your chosen career requires new 21st century skills and the ability to think beyond our borders.
We're always looking for students who have pursued academic enrichment programs that take them outside of the classroom, outside of their community, and really introduce them to other academic outings.
Ambassador programs are designed to give you an academic edge. They're even led by educational professionals who make the most of each learning opportunity. These teacher leaders are also an important part of our industry-leading approach to safety. With GPS tracking, extensive training for leaders and students, and dedicated staff on call 24/7, we set a high standard for travel safety.
We are very, very serious about the safety of our children. It's the #1 foremost thing.
Rest assured you're in good hands with People to People. They've been traveling students for over 50 years. They know what they're doing.
Every continent, country, and city brings new adventures, friendships, and experiences that you'll take with you for the rest of your life.
To the young people who are here tonight, I ask you to go forward and always remember that we're citizens in the truest sense of the word, not just of this country, but of this precious planet.
Your people-to-people experience will not only make a difference in your life, but can actually change the world. Learn what it means to be a global citizen through unique and rewarding service projects. In 2014, ambassadors earned more than 120,000 service learning hours. Join students just like you and make an impact around the world.
We are at the east coast of Japan where the tsunami hit last year.
Seeing everyone work together, digging in the sand and get out debris or like logs, and knowing that like you touch these people's lives just as much as they touched yours. It's just an amazing feeling of accomplishment.
Over the next several months, you will see and learn more about the world than most people will in a lifetime. Each day of your ambassador experience will bring new adventures as you explore places you've only dreamed of.
We are at the top of Machu Picchu. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I still can't believe that I'm here.
The time is now, the choice is yours. As a people-to-people ambassador, your world will change forever. So the only question left is, are you ready?
There is no more important work than that which we are asking you to participate. Thank you very much for your time.
So that goes over some of the history of People to People, but I want to delve into some of the details with you. As you've heard, People to People was a vision of President Eisenhower starting back in 1956. Originally a government program, it was run by the State Department. But when Eisenhower was leaving office, he wanted to make sure that his program, truly that his vision, would continue on. And so when he left office, he made it a private organization. And in 1962, the first group of ambassadors traveled. Now, back then, you had to be pretty important, even famous, to travel with People to People. Individuals like the jazz musician Louis Armstrong, comedian Bob Hope, my favorite, my old boss, Walt Disney. Disney traveled as an ambassador just like you will. He was a little older. But Disney was so touched by his travels that when he returned, he made a pretty iconic ride. Anyone ever been on it? Small World? Anyone else want to get off when the music starts? We discovered very quickly that we didn't really want to be exclusive to celebrities or even adults. Eisenhower believed that it was through our youth, through our students, that we could truly affect change. Keeping that in mind, I want to let you know that students have been invited, but not yet selected for this program. In order for your student to be selected, you will need to apply, interview, and submit 3 letters of recommendation. I want to introduce you to the amazing teacher leaders that will be conducting those interviews and then traveling with you abroad. First, I'm going to bring up our area director, Cora Countryman. It is Cora's job to choose and help train our teacher leaders so that they are prepared to help your students travel successfully. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you, John Paul. Welcome, good evening, and thank you very much for coming out on a school night to join us. I know that that is sometimes difficult with the commitment that these students have to their studies, to their extracurricular activities, and so on. I do hope that this will be an hour well spent and that you will walk away tonight knowing a little bit more about our program and why we as educators are so passionate about what we have to offer. As area director, my primary responsibility is to interview, to train, and to support the teachers that will eventually become leaders on our programs. We don't travel as chaperones. We travel as educators. So our teacher leaders have to be CPR and first aid certified. They have to attend 2 full-day trainings as well as 6 additional modules that are held throughout the year. I look for teachers that are highly recommended by their administrators, by their colleagues, and by their students. So consequently, I have the real privilege of working with probably some of the finest educators in Southern California. So I am really happy to have a few of my teachers with me tonight. I would like to start by introducing Sarah Deersing. She will be the primary leader on the high school delegation in 2015.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Deersing, and I teach at St. Polycarp School. Like Cora said, I will be the primary leader for the high school delegation, and I couldn't be more excited about this. Just last summer, I traveled with students to Spain, France, and Italy, and while on this 19-day Mediterranean journey, I was really able to walk away with a sense of how people-to-people truly impact students' lives. They gain so much personal growth while on program. For example, for most of them, this is their first time traveling without their parents, let alone to a new country. So understandably so, they're going to be faced with situations where they have to rise to the occasion. For example, we are going from hotel to hotel, and that requires them to pack their own bags, make sure they don't leave anything behind. They might even have to wash their own laundry should they run out of clean clothes, and that does happen from time to time. And it's other situations like this that they encounter where they have to rise to the occasion. They have to become more responsible, and they gain more independency. Personally, what I noticed most growth was from the beginning of the program to the end of the program. There are a few students that are a little shy, a little reluctant to try things, but as they have the opportunity to do some of the amazing activities like team building or service learning or even rappelling down a 100-foot tower, conquering their fears, you could just see their self-confidence go up each and every day until the end of the program. And all of a sudden, their attitude is, I can do this, or I can at least try to do this. So these are experiences, real-world experiences, that they get to encounter that's just not found in a textbook or in the classroom. So this is why People to People is so life-changing, and I truly hope that I get to see you this summer. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Gloria Henderson, another leader for the junior high delegation.
Hi, my name is Gloria Henderson, and I am actually the leader for the junior high school delegation. That's grades 6 through 8, for those of you who are currently in those grade levels now. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our educational program. Now, our program is educational based, and students who are in the 9th through 12th grades can earn college credit. And it also looks really, really good on your resumes, your college applications when you apply for jobs as well. So we are run through an accredited school, and high school students can earn 1 unit of credit that is built in to the program, and you can actually even apply for up to 16 units of elective credit. And so that's an option that is available to you. Further, middle school students, junior high school students, they also have the opportunity to apply for 1 unit of credit. So we are an educational program, and you're going to be taught the different cultures and traditions and the history of the places in which you will be traveling to, not only during the travel itself, but prior to. Because we do have a very, very intense, detailed travel program, pre-travel program that involves 4 orientation meetings in which you're going to be learning more about the countries that you're going to visit and the cities, and about the different types of opportunity and activities that are available to you. And as you have teachers as your guides, they will help to acclimate you to your new situations and to build those strong bonds that Sarah was talking about. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Yaneli Sadana.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yaneli Saldana. I am a 5th grade teacher at Gwyn Foss Elementary in Tustin. I have been a leader with People to People for a few years now, and I'm here to talk to you about the exclusive access People to People Student Ambassador Programs offers these students. How many of you have heard of Medieval Times, the restaurant? Okay, hands down. I know everyone has. I wanted to share with you a little bit of my experience in England. We traveled to Warwick Castle, and it was such a great experience because People to People closed the castle out for us. So we were able to participate in some night training, and we learned how to sword fight. And I say we because every delegate and every leader had such a great time participating in this activity. And then in the evening, we saw a cannonball, a fireball, being launched through a trebuchet. Additionally, when we visited England, we were able to visit someone from Parliament who answered questions about the monarchy, the Queen, anything we wanted to learn about the British government and the US government. This summer, I traveled to Spain with our delegates, and we had the chance to make our own paella. Have you heard of paella before? It's a traditional Spanish dish. So not only did we try it, we also had the chance to make it. We made pizza in Italy. So these are just a few of the things that People to People has to offer. Not only do we get to visit these countries, we also get to immerse ourselves in the culture, and we get to participate in things like cooking food, asking questions. But the best part is the homestay, where you get to really, really immerse yourself in the culture and spend time with families who you learn the most about, and you form these special bonds. So People to People's exclusive access doesn't compare to anything else. So I'm going to introduce you now to Karen, who has a few more words for you.
If that was not enough, thank you, Yaneli. My name is Karen Connect, and I teach at Greenville Fundamental in Santa Ana. I have been a leader for the last 5 years. I'm here, I am the lucky one who gets to speak to you about the fun factor. So all of those things are fabulous, and within all of those things, you get tons of fun. And only through People to People could they pack in and all of these activities within one program. There is no way you could possibly do what we do on your own. When we travel to England, we get to go on the, go to the theater. We travel on, we see the changing of the guards. We also go on the London Eye, thank you, it was escaping me for a while. And then not only that, we go on to France, and in France you get to see the Mona Lisa and climb the Eiffel Tower. In Germany, we get to do a homestay, which Yaneli has covered a little bit, but that is totally fun. And for most delegates, usually their favorite part. Then you go on to hike the Swiss Alps. And if that wasn't enough, Every day is filled with activities very similar to those and more, much, much more. So we hope that you'll be able to join us for a summer you will never forget.
Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, guys. So I've introduced you to one group of amazing individuals. I want to introduce you to another. If we have any alumni who have traveled with us in the past, all the way back from 1956 to just last summer, if you would please stand and be recognized for a second. Please stand. We want to give you a round of applause. Any alumni? All right, let's give them a round of applause. Stay standing for me for just a second. Now, any alumni parents. We know parents do everything they can to make this happen for your students, so we want to recognize you as well. Parents, if you'd please stand for me as well. Let's give them a round of applause. Stay standing for me for just a second. All right, if you're standing, please join me on stage. I just have a couple questions for you, parents and students. I trick the parents because they never want to come up here. All right, if we can have the students line up in one row in the front, parents, just line up right behind your student. If your student isn't up here, line behind up somebody else's kid. They won't know. All right, so what I'm going to do is just ask you a couple of questions. We're going to go through the students, and then you're going to switch places and ask the parents some questions. So we're going to start with you because you're right next to me. So tell us your name, what school you go to, where in the world you went with people to people, and then just what the experience was like or your favorite moment. Okay?
So my name is May Griffith, and this summer I traveled to France, Italy, and Spain with people to people. There were a lot of great experiences, but I have to say my favorite was the homestay in Spain, because you get to connect with the family of a different culture. And I go to St. John's Episcopal School.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ryan. I am 16, and with people to people, I went to India, Peru, and Vietnam and Cambodia last summer. And I go to Cedar Canyon. It's in LA. And my favorite moment, I really liked biking through Cambodia. That was really cool because it was just beautiful, and there's all these locals, and they're all waving, and it was just a really fun experience. So.
Hi, my name is Tommy Trazik, and I go to Woodbridge High School, and I went to the Mediterranean Traditions trip across the Mediterranean Sea, and my favorite part of the trip was the homestay because they were very welcoming, and you felt like you were home, and it was great.
Take that. Now switch. Parents up front. All right, parents, I'm going to ask you some similar questions. I don't need to know what high school you went to. Tell us your name, which student you belong to, and then just what it was like to have a student travel with people to people, any changes you saw in your student, or even what you wish you would have heard when you were in their seats kind of making this decision last year. And we're going to start with you.
Hi, my name is Tom Trazik. I'm Tommy's father, and one of the things I really appreciated about the program was its structure. I appreciated the preparation, and that's something I wasn't aware of when we started the program, but quickly learned. The fact that there's preparation about 4 to 6 months prior to the trip even starting. The students will study the places they're going to go, and they'll study how to travel safely, how to pack, how to take care of yourself on the road. So that was a new experience for my son. Another thing, so one thing I noticed when he got back was a general, more openness to new experiences, new ideas, new perspectives. That's one thing I really noticed. And when Tommy came back in the airport and I met him, I could tell that he was genuinely surprised at how much fun he had on the trip.
Hi, my name is Holly. I'm Ryan's mom. I have been blessed with 2 children traveling with people to people. The number one issue that I had or concern I had was, oh my gosh, I'm letting my kids go across the world. I'm sure you parents have that question. And I cannot tell you how amazing these delegation leaders are. That was probably, for me as a mom, the most comforting part. Just because they're so well-traveled, they're connected, and they are teachers, they're educators, and not just chaperones. Ryan went to, as she said, Peru, India, Vietnam, Cambodia, and she's headed to Antarctica. And so she is really into this. My son went at 11 years old to Australia, so he couldn't make it tonight. So all I would say is that when my kids came back, I saw new children. I saw children that had curiosity in their eyes, a cultural IQ that had spiked, and I can't speak highly enough about this program.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie. I'm May's mom. I would say for me, the first thing that happened is after we had signed up and we were ready to go and she had gone through the interview and was accepted, she panicked and said, "I'm not going." And I said, "Yeah, you are." And I ended up calling Yaneli, who was fantastic, who said, "Just get her to the first meeting. If you can get her to the first meeting, I promise you she'll be fine." There was no looking back at all when she got to the first meeting whatsoever. And she's an only child, not to say that that should make a difference, but for those of you who are parents of only children, you understand. And she just jumped right into it. She went to the classes, which they made very educational yet entertaining. So it wasn't like they were sitting in a classroom reading books. It's not at all like that. They make it much more entertaining and interactive. She, the other thing that was surprising to me was how, again, the entire trip, not one panicked phone call home, not one panicked, crying, "I miss you." I mean, she would send texts that she missed, and well, we sent a lot of texts actually, but you would think that you would have at least gotten one of those, and it was actually quite a relief, because for me, it was harder, I think, than it was on her. So she seemed to have a great time, made great friends. I ended up talking to her friends on the trip. They were calling back. Apparently, we were the ones with a cellular plan. But and May was more than willing to let everyone use it. The other thing too is there's no doubt that she came back a different person. She was much more open. She packed a lot more thoroughly and was easier to travel with after that. But she definitely had a different sense, a different maturity in her. And as a parent, one of the things that's weird for you is that your child now is going on a trip, and as parents, everything your kids pretty much have learned has been based in our surroundings of being around school or what they've learned from the family and whatnot. It's a little bit of an odd feeling when they go away and they come back and you realize for the first time your child has now had different experiences and better experiences than you have ever had. And now they're teaching you and explaining to you these things. So for me, that was a real adjustment, but it was fascinating, which is why immediately we were like, how can May go on the next one, and signing up. So.
Let's give them an amazing round of applause. Students, I will have alumni pins for you afterwards, so if you will come find me after the meeting, I will get those for you. Thank you guys so much. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of what I get to do. Getting to hear from the students and from the parents about their students, and knowing that this program really does make a difference in their lives lets me really come back and do this time and time again and feel wonderful about the people-to-people programs. Before we move on to the itinerary, which I know you want to see, I want to talk to you a little bit about safety. One of the biggest things for me and for most of the parents that I talk to is access. You will have 24/7 access to the program office via a dedicated 800 number. Now, what that means for you parents is that if you wake up at 3 in the morning in a cold sweat and need to know where your baby is, we can tell you. If you need to know where they're going to be 3 days from now and the phone number and the fax number of the hotel, we have you covered. If you're just lonely because they're gone and need someone to talk to, give us a call. We also send our leaders with GPS-enabled smartphones. That way they are never more than a few clicks of a button away from reaching us at the program office or reaching you if they need to speak with you about your student. And of course, you can send your student with whatever technology that you deem appropriate. iPhone, iPod, iPad, even an Android. But before you go out and buy that brand new shiny world phone and get them that unlimited minutes plan, I warn you, this is kind of how it's going to go. The first day, you're going to get a call. Mom, Dad, I love you. This is amazing. I miss you so much. Day 2. Mom, Dad, I love you. This is amazing. Day 3. You're just going to get a text message that says, hey, can I call you later? Because they're busy. We keep your students going morning, noon, and night because we want to pack as much Europe into 19 days as we possibly can. But to make sure that you are constantly updated, we will have a dedicated private Facebook page for each of our delegations. Now, this is a great way for students, parents, and leaders to all get to know each other and ask questions before travel. But where it becomes really important is when your student departs. Parents, this is your window into their world. You don't have to worry about if your student will post because our leaders will be posting pictures, statuses, blogs, videos, updates, so that you can truly have this experience along with your child. If you guys have any other questions about safety, please come see me after the meeting or check out pages 80 and 81 in the magazine when you get home. But I know you want to be seeing what you're going to be doing next summer. Let me show you.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I'm a student ambassador alum from Ohio, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing 3-week journey. Think 19 days, a whopping 7 countries, and one awesome moment after another. Welcome to your European Heritage Program. It begins with a bang in London, one of the most sophisticated cities in the world. When I hear the chime of the clock tower, Big Ben, I am right back in London taking in the sights. You'll get to see them from my favorite viewpoint, on the gigantic Ferris wheel called the London Eye. Get your camera ready because everyone at home will want to see you soaring through the air with the beautiful skyline behind you, almost 500 feet above the sidewalk. That's like 64 of those adorable red phone booths stacked on top of each other. After looking down on England's capital with your head in the clouds, you'll hit the ground running for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at its government with a current or former Member of Parliament.
Well, a very great welcome to people, and especially to be able to welcome you here to the Palace of Westminster, where the House of Commons and the House of Lords sit in this historic place. We're delighted to be able to greet you once again.
This isn't just a quick photo op. It's a real and really educational session where student ambassadors talk serious shop with an MP. Everything from comparing the British and the American constitutions to looking at the royal family's political influence. For a country that's technically a monarchy, it's amazing how similar our governments actually are. A visit to Buckingham Palace will show you how the changing of the guard has happened for generations. They say the guards can't be tempted to smile, but it's worth a try. Finally, wrap up your day with a show in the West End district. It's like London's answer to Broadway, so get ready for some world-class entertainment. From there, it's on to France. Taking an overnight ferry ride is a special experience. On the ferry, you're almost following the same exact route as General Eisenhower's troops in the D-Day invasion of World War II. You know what that means. When you wake up, you'll be in Normandy. Being right where D-Day happened will change the way you think about war. In Normandy, you'll have opportunities that simply aren't offered to other guests. You'll actually meet and talk with a surviving witness to World War II, someone who will explain how the French people kept their hope alive during the Nazi occupation. You'll also have a unique chance to honor the fallen with a quiet ceremony at the Normandy American Cemetery. This cemetery is the final resting place of almost 10,000 young soldiers. Your time here will give you a better understanding of why someone like President Eisenhower would be so dedicated to building a peaceful future, after seeing so much human loss during his own World War II service in Europe. The local mayor or one of his representatives will even join you to offer an official welcome. It's an exclusive opportunity that will give you an idea of how important you are as an ambassador of peace and friendship. You'll see the sights that make Paris one of the most inspiring cities in the world. The high fashion of the Champs-Élysées, the elegant Arc de Triomphe, and the amazing stained glass windows of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Picture it. From the moment you set foot in Paris, you'll be in the places you've only read about or seen on TV. One of the best parts will come when you browse the artsy Montmartre district and see the works of a French artist in his own workshop and gallery. While you're in Paris, stop to explore one of the most luxurious palaces in the world. The Château de Versailles represents the height of the French king's power and excess. The French Revolution brought an end to the royals' lavish lifestyle, but you can still imagine what it was like as you explore this palace complex. You'll also get to try some of the foods France is famous for, like quiche, crepes, or escargot. Prepare your taste buds for some amazing new flavors. Of course, there are 2 more must-dos before you leave Paris. Number 1 is, you guessed it, the Eiffel Tower. 2 elevators will carry you 900 feet to the top of the famed tower. And the views are something you have to see to believe.
I'm on top of the Eiffel Tower, and this is a life-changing experience. And I've always dreamed that I would be here once, so it's pretty awesome.
Then go hit the Louvre to see the Mona Lisa, and the Venus de Milo, and Winged Victory, and a whole lot more. That's because the Louvre is one of the most important and enormous art collections in the world. They say it would take you a whole month to even glimpse all its treasures. Say au revoir to France and head north to Belgium, home to a people who take their sweets seriously. I mean, think about it. Crispy Belgian waffles and creamy Belgian chocolate are made here, and you'll get to taste them the way they were meant to be eaten, fresh from the local shops. A horse-drawn carriage ride is the most beautiful way to see the medieval city of Bruges, a town that looks much like it did 500 years ago. From there, make your way to the Netherlands. The Netherlands is a pretty remarkable country. You'll get to see these windmills towering over the landscape when you bike your way through the Kinderdijk, a beautiful 17th century windmill park. This is like a 2-for-1 introduction to the Netherlands since bicycles are a huge part of Dutch life. Afterward, you'll be joined by Dutch students to share a picnic and share your cultures. It's a great chance to see this area through the eyes of a local. The Hague is home to some very stately mansions and embassies. It's also a place of government, where you'll see the beautiful Peace Palace as well as the International Court of Justice, the main court of the United Nations. One unique part of the Dutch culture is their shoes. Wooden shoes, to be exact. You may not see them on the streets of Amsterdam, but for people who make their living on the land, these shoes are still super useful. They're hard enough to protect you from sharp objects or tools. They keep you dry in puddles or mud, and the pointed toes even help fishermen haul in their nets. The Dutch are also famous for their cheeses. Watch how they're made, then sample the finished product.
Okay, the smoked cheese was the best. Awesome. It was awesome.
World War II becomes personal when you enter the Anne Frank Museum. Anne Frank was a Jewish girl who went into hiding with her family in Amsterdam when she was just 13. When you read her diary and see the annex where she lived for 2 years, you can't help but admire her bravery. This memorial is a solemn place where people go to remember the horrors of World War II and pay their respects, so they don't allow cameras inside. You'll have to go there yourself to see how Anne and her friends and family lived in this tiny space. Then it will be goodbye Netherlands and Guten Tag Germany. One of the most unique things about people-to-people ambassador programs is the chance to make real connections with people from other cultures. One of the best ways for you to truly connect with people across the globe is through the homestay. Don't worry, it's normal to be a little nervous about staying with a new family in a foreign country. I know I was, but soon you may be surprised to find that your homestay is one of your favorite memories. After a sad goodbye with your host family, head to Heidelberg, where you can experience the vast ruins of Heidelberg Castle. Each section of the castle was built in a different style, which I guess makes sense since rulers added on to the castle in almost every century since the 1200s. In Freiburg, you'll be at the gateway to Germany's famous Black Forest. In this eco-friendly city, you can pitch in to help preserve the environment, maybe by planting trees or clearing a forest trail. Freiburg's a great place to try some of the region's delicious dishes, like Käsespätzle, which might just be the best mac and cheese you've ever had. You'll also get in touch with Black Forest history at a cuckoo clock workshop. When they became popular here in the late 1600s, cuckoo clocks were a serious upgrade from the hourglass. They kept time better and longer. Plus, they gave craftsmen a chance to show off beautiful carvings on the clock case. Then we'll go where the hills are alive with the sound of music, to Austria. A local official will give your delegation a warm welcome to the Montafon Valley. In this beautiful resort area, you'll have an awesome time exploring the European outdoors. You'll get familiar with the forest through games and hikes, and challenge yourself on a ropes course with your friends. Best of all, you'll get to glide down the mountain on a cool alpine coaster. Wrap up days of fresh air with some Austrian hospitality. Learn to make your own traditional cheese and enjoy great food and conversation at a dinner with local families. In your final country, Switzerland, experience some of the most beautiful landscapes Europe has to offer. Zurich's old world look fits perfectly against the backdrop of the snow-capped Alps. Even the sound of the city is beautiful because of the 1,300 fountains scattered throughout its streets. The journey goes so fast, you won't even believe it's finally time to board your flight and head home. And now, just imagine, next summer, you could be soaking in the art of the Louvre, bouncing in a buggy through Belgian streets, and discussing politics with an international lawmaker. I actually have a new perspective now, of the world, of other people, even of myself, because of this program. I've been inside other cultures, I've learned that I'm more capable than I believed, and I have new friends and family on the other side of the globe. I feel like I understand so much more, and I'm excited to keep learning about the world. It's your time now. Take that first step. Open up your mind and get ready for the world.
So what's the first thing you get asked every year after summer vacation? What did you do last summer? How would you like to say, I flew down the Alps in an open-air roller coaster? I had escargot at a Parisian cafe. I rocked clogs, and I made them look good. It's a little bit better than my Facebook status had 14 likes. I've shown you where you're going. Let me show you how to get there. If everyone can pull at their blue application guide, looks like this. And like that. This has a ton of great information, and I do recommend that you read this cover to cover when you get home. For the sake of time, please turn to page 6 for me. Page 6 has a list of all of the itineraries that People to People will be traveling to in 2015. Now, if you see something here that excites you more than the European Heritage Program that we are talking about today, come see me after the meeting and I can talk to you about how to get you on one of these other programs. What that would mean is that you might be traveling from another area, so maybe a delegation out of Los Angeles, or if we don't have one local, we do national programs all over the country where you may travel with one student from every single state. So if you want one of the other programs, talk to me. But the amazing program that we are talking about is European Heritage. As you can see, traveling to England, France, Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, Austria, and Switzerland. Whew. It's a 20-day program, and you'll see it travels at both the junior high and the high school level, but not together. We will have 2 separate delegations, one for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students, and another for those in 9 through 12. We feel that these are the best breaks for maturity level, and we want to make sure that your students are traveling with other students that they feel comfortable with. Tuition for this program is $64.99, and I'm going to go over what's included in your tuition in just a moment, but there are 3 blanks at the bottom of the page that I want to help you fill out, or excuse me, 2 blanks. The first is departure airport. Sorry, not John Wayne. You guys are flying out of LAX, right in LAX. The second is international airline surcharge. The international airline surcharge for this delegation is 516. What this is it's basically a group of taxes and fees that are assessed by the airlines and the government. The reason it's not included in the tuition is because this number can fluctuate. This is the same departure fee, basically, that you would pay if you booked your own international flight. And the last thing you'll see here is the travel protection plan. Now, what that is it's basically a travel insurance. It covers things like baggage and property, and it covers the tuition payments in the event that your student is unable to travel for some kind of emergency. Now, even without this insurance, your students are covered medically when they travel with us. You do not need to worry about your students traveling with us, even without this insurance. But I do recommend the insurance. You always protect the things that you care about, and this is a really good way to do that. We do have another insurance on top of this that's called Cancel for Any Reason, and in a few pages you can read about both insurances and see which one makes sense for you. The Cancel for Any Reason is exactly what it sounds like. If you were to wake up 3 days before the program, realize that the sky is the wrong color blue, your kid's not traveling with that blue sky, cancel the program, and receive your tuition payments back. Head to the next page. This is a checklist of everything included in your tuition. And I mean everything. At People to People, we believe that we have put together the most all-inclusive program available. All of your flights, hotels, 3 meals a day, sites, attractions, transportation, delegation manager, tips, taxes, and fees. Everything is included in the tuition. So we never ask for more money from students once they are traveling with us. In fact, many of our students will travel with little to no money in their pocket, have the time of their life. But we understand that many students want to bring along spending money to buy souvenirs for mom and dad as a thank you for sending them. And so at your pre-travel orientation meeting, we're going to teach your students things like budgeting and money exchange, because we want to give your students real life skills that will last long beyond their return home from program. Head to the next page. It takes us 2 pages to talk about everything included in the tuition. What I want to draw your attention to is the bottom left-hand side, academic credit. As one of our leaders alluded to earlier, all students can receive actual school credit for their participation in this program, provided they are in junior high or high school. You'll need to speak with your counselor about how this credit is accepted into your school. It's typically going to be 1 elective credit for a semester. But even if they don't accept it, you don't want to do that, that's okay. We also will give you a letter of completion after you've traveled. This can be easily added into your final transcripts so that when it's time to apply for college, you have something that helps you stand out. Now we know it is grades and test scores. They're going to open the doors to the schools that you want to go to. But having something like People to People on your resume can make those doors a lot easier to open. In fact, we asked our alumni and found that they get into their first college of choice at an 80% rate. The national average is under 64%. When you're talking about getting into your dream school, who couldn't use an extra little bump? All right. Now I want you to go to the very first page in the book, inside cover. So how do you apply? There are 3 very simple ways to apply for the program. When you apply for the program, you will put down a $399 deposit. This is not additional. Once you are accepted to the program after your interview, this will be counted as your first payment. If you are not accepted to the program, this is fully refunded back to you. We do not keep the $399 deposit if you're not accepted to the program, so you don't have to worry about that. So the 3 ways to apply. Online, peopletopeople.com/apply. If you received a card or a letter in the mail from us, it will have your PIN number. All you do is go to the website, enter your PIN number, put down some emergency contact information and your deposit, and you're on your way. But we are People to People. We have people. You can give us a call. 800-669-7882. You don't need to write it down. It's right there in the book. But I do want to give you another number. So if you want to pull out your cell phones, take out a pen if you don't have your cell phones, but I recommend pulling out your cell phones. You're going to want this number. For those of you at home, you can type it in. I'm going to give it to you twice. 714-403-4058. One more time. 714-403-4058. And that's this. It's my cell phone. Does that 714 number sound familiar? I live down the road in Costa Mesa. If you have questions, concerns, if you didn't get a question answered today, give me a call. Shoot me a text. Not right now. I'm on stage. I'm happy to answer your questions today, tomorrow, or 3 months from now. I will say, I'm on stage a lot, so if you call me on a Saturday afternoon, I will probably get back to you on Monday morning. However, if you shoot me a text, I can usually get back to you right away. I will text often backstage while the videos are going on, because I've seen them before. And the last way to apply for the program is actually probably the easiest. On page 11 of the book that you're holding is an actual application. All you have to do is fill that out and hand it to me before you leave. If you do that, you'll be guaranteed one of the first 40 spots on these delegations. Now, for those of you at home, there are 2 links that tell you to apply, junior high or high school. All you do is hit those buttons, and you can apply right away. The next thing you'll see are letters of recommendation. We require 3 letters of recommendation, 2 from teachers, 1 from another adult. Now, we know it's still pretty early in the year, so if you want to use teachers from years past, that is totally fine with us. Students, listen up, I have some advice for you. Pick teachers that like you. For the adult, we're looking for someone who hopefully knows you from a group setting. This could be your soccer coach, your youth pastor, synagogue leader, basketball coach. Family friend works in a pinch, but no one with your last name. We know your mom and dad like you. The last thing is the interview questionnaire. As I mentioned, there is an interview process that goes along with being accepted to the program. For those of you at home watching, all you have to do is hit the button that says Contact Jean-Paul and let me know that you would like to be interviewed. Give me your name, your number, and a good time to contact you, and our leaders will reach out to you. For those of you here today, all you're going to do is check out with us the same way you checked in. Just go see one of our leaders holding a tablet, and they will have all of the interview dates and times that are available. Do you guys get that white sheet that when you walked in with the leader information? On the back of that sheet will be the interview dates and times. It will probably go a little faster if you know the interview date and time that you want before you get to the tablet. So check that out, see what date and time works for you, and then let us know. If none of those work, that's okay. Just let our leaders know that we need to set up something privately with you, and we can absolutely do that. Now I want you to go to the very last page in the book. Very last page in the blue book. There is a website, p2ppayyourway.com. I want you to circle it. And then put a star next to it. And then circle it again. This is a wealth of information about scholarships, sponsorships, fundraising ideas. This is what the website looks like. The first thing you'll see when you go to the website are our webinars. These are amazing. Our alumni, who have been very successful fundraising in the past, will come on live and tell you how they did it. These are students who've raised 50%, 75%, 100% of their tuition or more. All you have to do is steal their idea, because we know that it works. The next thing, scholarships and credits. People to People is giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships and credits this year. The only way to know that you're not eligible for a scholarship is to not apply for the program. you must be enrolled in the program in order to apply for a scholarship. So I usually get asked two questions. First, well, if I get a full scholarship after I put down my deposit, do I get my deposit back? Absolutely. Second question I usually get asked is, can I get a scholarship for my deposit? No. You must put down your deposit in order to be eligible for any of the scholarships. But again, if you do fundraising or get scholarships or get sponsors from businesses and you end up with more money in your account than the cost of the tuition, that will be fully refunded back to you. That is your money. Make sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because we have contests going all the time for tuition credits. It literally pays to be our friend. Ideas? These are going to be fundraising ideas that maybe you haven't thought of before. Things beyond cookies and car washes. But don't forget about cookies. I met a girl in Berkeley, California, who started traveling in 5th grade. She has now gone on 3 programs in a row, financed 100% by baking cookies. That's a lot of cookies. But it can be done. The last is my favorite, tools. These are going to be form letters where you enter in your child's information and say, my student has this opportunity. How can you help? And you send them to friends, family, but more importantly, local businesses. You will be astonished at how much help people are willing to give if you just ask. With that, I want to leave you with a final thought. We are living in an ever-changing and competitive world where any edge is an advantage. That edge can take different forms. It could be academics or cultural skills, or it could just be confidence and maturity. What greater asset is there than the confidence to take on the world? That's what we're offering here. If you guys have any questions, I'll be right over here to answer them for you. For those of you online, there should be a chat box. Please ask us questions or email me directly. Make sure to sign up for your interviews by emailing me or speaking with our leaders. And if you want to guarantee one of your spots, just hand me your application before you go. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.